custom carpentry. It's time to knock on wood and let's get this going. So, what I'm going to do today on the series that I'm putting together on how to build custom cabinets is I'm going to show you how I do my custom fluting detail that I do. So, I've already set up and got the board ready here. And I usually use a lot of times a 1x4, a lot of times I'll use a 1x3 depending on the size of the cabinet. In this example I'm going to show you here, I'm going to use a 1x4. And so what I do is I set it up here on my MFT3 table. And you're probably wondering why this is green. Well, this is tape I have over it because this is a piece of oak that I've already primed and pre-painted. So when I run the fluting down here, the oak will show through, at which I can stain, which is going to be a new detail that I'm going to be doing on this built-in. So I did lay the tape. I could have used some blue tape, but we all know how I like green. So what I do is I'm going to set the board down here. And you can't clamp it because the way the router here is set up, the clamps would be in the way. So what I do is I take my pinner gun, and I just shoot a couple of pins into here just to hold it. Don't need to hold it very much, and then when you pull it off, you can just snap them off. It's no big deal. It holds it in place real fine. So now the next thing I do is the layout. And the way I do my fluting is I first will find the center of the board, which on an 3.5 inch board is 1 3/4 inches. So I'll put a mark right there, and then I come over 1 inch on this side, because now you got 1 3/4 inches, and half of 1 3/4 inches actually is 7/8. So I'm going to mark it right here at 7/8, and then I will mark this one here for 7/8. And there, and that gives a nice little balance. You can center it however set up you want, but this is the way that I do it. Then the next thing I do is from the bottom of the board, I usually come up about 3 inches from the bottom and 5 inches. Because I do a special design fluting. I don't do them straight across. I do 2 short ones and 1 long one in the middle. And so then I'll come up to where I need to cut the length of the board. And this particular one here, this board's going to be cut at 69, which is right here. So I'll come down 3, 1, 2, 3, and come down 5, which is right there. Then I take my square that across. Do that up at the top, and then I also do it down here at the bottom. Now I got it all marked. Now what I use is, again, I use the Festool OF 1400 router along with the edge guide. And this particular one I have a 3/8 inch little fluting bit that I use. And I set it up, and I did a test cut here earlier to show the depth, which is about right. And you can just put it in there and figure out the depth so it looks good, fits into what you're doing. So I've done that. Now the next thing is I'll set up the router, and I'll always do the first notch first. And with the Festool router, you have a little centering thing on here. So all you have to do is set that up right on there, lock it down, make sure that these are locked down, and I'm ready to go. It's as simple as that, and I have the dust extraction connected to it. And then I will start up here. Now you know I have the 2 marks, so the outside one is going to be the shorter one, so I'll line it up on that mark right there. go. So that's the first one. Then the second one, I come back up, adjust this again, put it on here on the middle spot, tighten it down. Now this one I go the long one all the way down here, fire it up. Alright, that takes care of that one. Come back over here. Line it up on the third one. Crank it down. Come back up here. Line it up. Now then, that's how I do my fluting detail. Well, here is the finished detail now. As you can see with my fluting, I do the 2 short ones and 1 long one, and then this will get cut right about in here. But by doing the painting first and then staying in the center like that, is going to give a really, really nice detail. And I'll have my painter, when he paints the cabinet, clean this up a little bit. But it makes it a heck of a lot easier. And when you see the cabinet finished, along with this detail added on, it's going to look really awesome. And so that's how I do my custom fluting.